Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And Scotland have just gone down to Australia in the first Autumn Nations Series game. Blair Kinghorn could have been the hero. He was the hero for a while. He did score a very good try that put Scotland in the driving position. However, Scotland not managing to keep out Australia. Australia coming back, getting themselves to a winning position. And then Kinghorn was given another opportunity to be a hero. He had a final minute penalty to win the game, but couldn't convert it. And to be perfectly honest, should have. Should have. If you want to be an international fly half, you've got to be converting opportunities like that. And I think he'll know that. So before we look at the game itself and sort of break it down, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. It all started very well for Scotland, despite being under a lot of pressure. Australia very much the better side in the opening 10 minutes, but the first time Scotland really got the ball, some very nice deft touches before a very good carry and two very, very good steps coming from Ollie Smith, and as he cuts inside, Blair Kinghorn then missing the conversion from not even a similar sort of spot, well, I mean, a bit further, a bit closer actually. He should have converted that as well. Australia were once again sort of parked in 22, but couldn't get much reward. They eventually found their first three-pointer in the 15th minute, and then we saw Glenn Young being brought on very early to replace Sam Skinner. Bernard Foley adding another three-pointer to take the lead for Australia for the first time. And 5 points to 6 at half time. Scotland will probably be happy with the two sides. Bernard Foley had, kicked that penalty on the halfway mark. So I think Scotland were leading for most of the half. And then in the second half, you kind of felt like whoever was going to score first was going to be in pin position. Blair Kinghorn actually scored in the 53rd minute, the 43rd minute. And it was bizarre because it was a knock-on from an Australian player, and nobody wanted to touch because they were worried about being offside. Blair Kinghorn, bang, kicks it in behind, has the pace, kicks it once again, ball pops up, goes over, does convert his own try. And then about 10 minutes later, getting a penalty and adding the extra three. So Scotland were 15 points to 6 up. And suddenly you sort of felt that they actually had a bit more of a grip of the game and that they were a little bit more in control. But the yellow card to Glenn Young didn't help too much. I think he was very lucky not to get a red. Goes flying into a ruck. It was bicep. So apparently bicep over there, sort of contact to the head of Tate McDermott, who sort of reeled back, was hit very hard. But survived because of the bicep not supposed to not being shoulder or swinging arm or head contact. So I don't think I really agreed with that. Both sides then sort of emptied the bench, but Australia sort of, I know they just hang in there. James Slipper went over the 61st minute again, a couple of nice touches, down to 14 men, and James Slipper, he ended up getting the ball sort of on the angle with just Tupolota to beat it within 2 minutes, and you're never going to stop him from there. Bernard Foley adding the extra. Then a penalty in the 70 minutes. Bernard Foley once again holding his nerve. He kicked very well with the tee, nailing that, and then Blair Kinghorn right at the death. Scotland winning a penalty. He had the chance to win it. Unfortunately, fluffed his lines. If we look at the possession, for example, 55% for Scotland, 59% territory, so it did dominate that. They scored 2 tries to the 1 from Australia. Australia ran more meters, but Scotland beat more defenders. Again, on carries were pretty even. Kicks from hand were very even. In fact, they were exactly even. So if you look at the defense, for example, Australia missed 20 of 138 tackles at 86% success rate, whilst Scotland operated an 89% success rate, making 106 of 119 tackles. 2 kicks missed from Blair Kinghorn and none kicked from Australia, and that's the difference at the end of the day. Blair Kinghorn gets that conversion in the first half. He gets that penalty at the end. Scotland win. And once again, South African fans will relate because those are 2 kicks that have to go over. And, the cynic in me sits there thinking, does Finn Russell get those 2 kicks? And he probably does, I do think he does. So that's, I think, a bit of an obstacle that Blair Kinghorn needs to overcome. If he's going to be an international fly half, you have to be able to nail those 3-pointers. You have to be able to be relied upon to win you a game in the dying seconds. So the lineouts were pretty sloppy from Scotland. They missed 3. Australia missing just the 1. Scotland's scrum was probably a bit better in terms of the success rate, although they did get outscrummed a couple of times. Australia discipline was pretty terrible. 15 penalties conceded, 13 from Scotland, so not much better. Scotland had a yellow card. Australia did have a yellow card with a deliberate knockdown, which was then rescinded by Luke Pearce. If we look at some of the performances, I think a big shout out to Michael Hooper. On return, his game reads like this: 15 tackles, just one missed, a turnover, 2 carries. He looked very bright at Michael Hooper. Rob Valentini, 14 tackles, very good defensive effort from him. I thought that Hunter Basami was quite involved a lot. If you look at the Scottish players, I thought Jamie Ritchie played pretty well in his first game as captain. Hamish Watson obviously leading the defensive charge, 17 tackles made, just the one miss. Tupilotu I thought looked pretty industrious on attack, to be honest. It always looked like he was going to be able to produce something. Ollie Smith also looked very bright with ball in hand. So Stuart Hogg, who will be returning, coming into the squad, has got a little bit of competition. I think that my biggest frustration for Scotland is you've got to get your wings involved more. Darcy Graham went looking for work, but Dylan van der Merwe found himself sort of stranded on the outskirts of the game. And you've got to get him into the game. As British and Irish Lions, you've got to get the ball to him. You've got to give him space. And they just couldn't really do that. But let me know what you thought about the game down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.